Hi everyone, I'm Dilika Fernando and I work for Titus. Little bit about me. I used to be one of Titus's clients, so I was always working on the Moodle side as an end user, and then I was really curious about everything about Moodle, and then I jumped ship and then joined the supplier, premium Moodle partner. In this presentation, I wanted to talk about CPD management within Moodle. Firstly, thank you for coming, because I know that there's another parallel session that's happening, so I was expecting an empty room, and then I could just talk whatever I wanted to talk about, and then get coffee and pastry. So thank you for being here. The CPD is I feel like it's a vague term, and each customer has their own interpretation of what CPD is for them. And been working in L&D space for over 15 years, worked at various different industries, and CPD was there in HR processes, and development processes within every company that I worked at. And it was interpreted very differently. Sometimes CPD was just about a portfolio, building e-portfolio and keeping that up to date throughout your studies, throughout your career. But it could also be, I've also worked at places where it was much more summative as well, where it was very closely audited. And this session is what I'm going to be showing is, I worked with a client called IPEM, Institute of Physical and Medicine Engineering. And this client was already using a highly bespoke system for many years to manage and deliver CPD outcomes for the organization. And it had a lot of limitations because everything was so customized, and it came to a point where they couldn't grow that any further, and without further customization, and it was creating a lot of technical debt within their organization. And we sort of took a step back and then really tried to understand what is it that they actually wanted to achieve through CPD, what was really important for their end users, and keeping the end user's experience at the heart of the solution design. There was a lot of features in the bespoke system that they were using that they just didn't need, but they were fitting their processes into the system. So that was sort of like the solution design phase, and our lead developers in the audience today as well, so Steve Anatai and I looked at, taking a step back, what is that best end user experience? How can you make it super easy for somebody to upload evidence, maintain evidence, but at the same time, from an administration point of view, what tools can we be giving them to easily manage the plugin and make it look good as well. Now, a caveat, this is the first iteration of the CPD plugin. So because of the time scales, we had to deliver something, but the foundation, the principles of the plugin obviously remains the same in future phases. But the technology that we used, we wanted to build all of the front end with React. So as Titus as a company, we are moving with developing and building products with the front end using React. And with this plugin, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. So when I share a lot of screenshots, you might think that, oh, it's okay. It looks a bit clunky, but it worked much better than what the client previously had. But we have big plans at Titus to keep moving this product on and build the front end, the entire front end with React, just like all our other products. If anyone came to the session yesterday that my colleague was doing, around apprenticeships. They spoke about a course format, which was all built in React, and we have learning libraries, a catalog plugin that, it's all using React. So I just wanted to make it a point before you judge me and look at these screenshots. It was like horrible screenshots. So inside the plugin, after we went through a rigorous process of business requirements gathering with the client and taking a step back and really looking at the end user experience, the learners who will be engaging with this plugin, as well as the administration, what they wanted is that they wanted a nice admin control so that they can engage with a few settings so that they can create the CPD dashboard, the CPD template that the end users will be interacting with. Auditing was a big deal for this particular client, but that is an optional feature within this plugin, so you can use it without an audit, the auditing feature. So audit equals to the assignment activity within Moodle. So we did try and keep everything Moodle-y, rather than creating a separate assignment setting within the plugin itself. We started to use the core functionality as well, and it's just kept whatever was absolutely needed into the CPD plugin. Automated completions. So this particular client, all of the courses that they are delivering, it was all part of the CPD. So any users who are coming onto this platform, they wanted it to automatically feed into the end user's CPD portfolio, or CPD template. So it automatically adds the courses upon completion, but again, you can choose which courses as well. Even though this client didn't want it, we built it in a way so that another client might want to select which courses they want to include as a part of the CPD journey. There was also another requirement around administrators wanting to upload evidence on behalf of students as well. So examples like IPEM, they hold conferences, they hold webinars and various sessions, face-to-face sessions, and if any of their attendees come onto this session, and that should be recorded as a CPD activity, rather than asking all of the attendees to go and remember to update your CPD, the administrators can bulk upload to say that these people attended my event, and then that just gets automatically added to their CPD as well. So it's a learner-driven CPD portfolio, as well as the teacher or community-driven, the administrators-driven CPD as well. And then competencies as well. So ultimately, how they were going to be using it is to identify competence gaps. So again, we didn't build a separate competence framework for this. We utilized the Moodle's competence framework, which I think is heavily, underutilized. But through this CPD plugin, it maps against courses, or CPD activities mapped against competency or competencies across multiple frameworks. Then you can help, the learner can identify where they are at against this competence matrix that the organization has created. And the last one is publishing CPD reports. So they also wanted to help share. The learner should be able to share within the Moodle platform, within the community at IPEM, but also outside of IPEM. So if somebody wanted to share their portfolio with, on LinkedIn, to showcase what they're doing as a part of their career or their studies, they should be able to share it, and then they should be able to view it, any documents that they've uploaded, all of that should be viewable. And what we've done is creating a sharing link where you don't need to log into Moodle to view those portfolio. But also with publishing the CPD report, the competence matrix report is also shareable. So there's the CPD portfolio, then there's the competence reports that has been created as well. These are all shareable where somebody doesn't need to log in. Let's see how this works. I am not doing a live demo. It's a lot of screenshots, so apologies. So to meet those requirements, so the admin features, you got CPD audit. So this is creation of the assignment activities to mark and moderate the CPD portfolios. So it's as normal. You would create an assignment activity the same way that you would create it in any context. But in the context of this client, how they were going to be using it is it's just going to be online text, because what gets published by the learner when they publish it for audit purposes or for marking purposes, it's a link that gets generated when they publish, and the marker can then just click on it and can access everything that the student has shared. The student should be able to select which CPD activities they want to share. So they could be uploading hundreds of CPD activities that they're doing within a year, but if they don't want to share all of them with a particular audience, they can choose which ones that they want to share, and it creates different views to the CPD portfolio. And I found that was very interesting, because if somebody wanted to get marked on their CPD portfolio, they can select the relevant ones, but if they wanted to showcase how amazing they are on LinkedIn, they could select the selected ones, and then that link would be a unique URL that can be uploaded on LinkedIn. So there is, in the admin settings, we have template design. So you can upload your own logo just to make it more personable for the company. Table headers, font size, background, all the color stuff can be included in the CPD portfolio template design. Bulk upload CPD events, so that is a feature that we introduced. So you upload the CSV file to say who's attended what event, and that gets automatically added. And then linking the CPD courses to competencies. So any courses that has a competence attached to it will be part of the CPD portfolio. So anyone who completes that course, if there is a competence attached, then it automatically gets added. If you don't want to include a course as a part of the CPD upon completion, you just don't add a competence. I mean, there's other ways that we could have approached this, but due to the timescales that we had, that's the approach that we went down through competencies. Add a competence if you want it to be part of it, or don't add a competence if you don't want to be part of the CPD. So this is the settings page, and hopefully you can see it. It's got where you can upload the logo, adjust the height, header text, and then got some colors that you can add, how the template looks like, the borders, the font color, the font size, the font family, and then the headers in the table as well. So everything that the end user will see when they are looking at their CPD dashboard, you have the settings to manage that. Action colors, so button colors, and also we've introduced custom fields. We've only introduced one custom field for now. So in the CPD portfolio, if somebody wanted to include what their job title was, or job title is, so in this case, they've added a custom profile field. We've mapped that profile field so that it appears when they publish the CPD, and it comes up that this is who it is, and the name of the person, and their job title, and the published date. So this is the interface for uploading evidence. We've created some instructions as well, so that these are all can be updated through the language strings if you'd want to make it more relevant to your organization. But it's like the user upload feature, similar functionality. You can upload who attended what and what was the activity, the CPD activity name. It could be MoodleMoot Global, and then the date that they attended, and that goes in, administrator can upload that, and then that gets added into the user's dashboard. CPD courses, this is standard Moodle competency place where you add the competency, attach the competency to the course. So we've kept that the same, we've just linked into it. So the end user experience, what they get is the end user can create, update, delete CPD activities, and they can manually create it. They can it's also automatically created when courses are completed, and then admins can also bulk upload. They can view and manage the CPD dashboard. They have access to a competence report. They can create views to specific CPD evidence, and they can submit for audit to get marked and moderated. And it's just the standard, through the standard assignment functions in Moodle. So if they want to resubmit, again, the standard assignment functionality works. This is what the end user sees. As I said, it's not done in React, so it might look a bit clunky. But they've got, this is the CPD dashboard, this is where the end user, the learner ends up, where they can click a button to add new evidence as soon as they start adding evidence, otherwise it'll be blank, and then you've got the table headers to show the date when they attended, the description, type of activity, the competence that it's linked to, and then they wanted 2 spaces for reflection. With CPD, with this organization, they wanted the end user to reflect on what they've learned through attending that CPD activity or completing that course. But these are optional fields, so you can see some of them are blank, some of them are filled out. And then you can add as many files as you want to it as supporting evidence as well. And then duration, time that they actually spend doing that activity. And then, yeah, you've got action buttons, and then you can also select. So if you're trying to publish, you can select which ones you want to publish against. So yeah, adding new evidence. This is the page where when they click on add new evidence or modify evidence, it's just a form that they just complete with all the fields that you saw on the dashboard. You've got the fields to complete it here, the end user. Supporting evidence to upload as many files as you want. And then if I had selected some evidence, so in this case there was a few evidences that I've uploaded, few courses that I've completed, but this is where I've selected which ones I want to publish, and it gives you a view. So this is the same view that the assignment marker is going to see with the link that you generate to share that CPD portfolio. This is the same view that anyone else, if on LinkedIn, wants to see. It's the same view. So you've got job title, name, and date of publish, and then you've got the reflections and the evidences that the user has uploaded. The competence report, there's some filter options that we have shared as well. Again, you can filter it and then create a link, shareable link, and it allows them to see the competence matrix gap. With the publishing, we've got 2 ways that they can publish. Whilst they're in this CPD journey, in this plugin, from this page itself, they can publish, and it will link to the relevant assignment in the back end and then automatically publish. They don't have to go into the course, into the activity, and then click submit. That is the second option, it's a second route. But we wanted to improve the user engagement slightly, just so that they don't always have to go into a course to submit. Standard assignment activity, once it's submitted, you'll see the online text. The link is what the end user, the marker, anyone who has access to that can see. Now, with the auditing, there are some restrictions that we've added. So because it's an audit, somebody needs to be logged in to actually view it. There are shareable links that you can also generate where somebody doesn't always have to be logged in to show it. Nathan, please, can you click on the first link? If Nathan can hear me. So I've got some links here where I've created different views. So link 1, if Nathan will click onto it and bring it on the screen, you will see it. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, you can come and see me downstairs and then I can show it. Great, so that's the first link. It's the same view that you saw in the assignment when we were looking on the slides as well. If you can click on the second link. So again, that link is unique. I've got 3 evidences that they've uploaded. And then there's a different version, and that could have gone with just one evidence that's been uploaded, and then the learner, the end user can see it. But yeah, there's other links. I'll pause there because I'm looking at Tamara, and then she's looking at me, trying to take 1 minute remaining. So you have 30 seconds for questions. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, Dave.
2 questions. Is this available to anybody, this plugin?
It's not. It's available through Titus.
Only for Titus?
Titus clients, but we haven't got to that stage yet to release it to the marketplace. But we're open to it because it's a first iteration, but we're open to talking with Moodle HQ and then seeing whether we want to make it available.
And then the second question was, you've added in custom fields so that they can add in job role and something else. Why haven't you just used the standard user field for that? So I'm just a bit confused by that a little bit.
The custom user field, yeah. That is, so like for the job title.
Yeah.
And it was because the customer, if somebody else wanted to use it with another custom profile field, and that just changes all the time. So in this case, it's job title. It could have been department and so on. So just, and I guess with the project timelines as well, we just went with the custom profile field, to be honest. I don't know, Steve, whether you have anything else that you wanted to... Just to prevent. Yeah, so just to prevent changing the name, just so that it just gets added for that customer particularly.
Any other questions?
Hello.
Hi, I'm just wondering, with flexible learning pathways that might lead to a bigger credential, so how easy would it be for this to work in that scenario? Say you've got 4 courses, but you only need to do 2 to gain the bigger overall award. Would it work quite well in that sort of scenario?
I think it would, because I think the plugin is quite dynamic, so you can choose which ones are actually going to be contributing towards the CPD. There isn't a functionality available to put points against, to say that if you have 4 courses, only 2 of them is actually required for your for the overall grade. That functionality doesn't exist. It's end user driven. So the end user chooses that there's 4 courses, but I only need to do 2 to participate in that audit to get moderated. So the audit information for this particular client, or even any other clients, the information is shared outside the CPD plugin to say that you are getting moderated and you need to have met X, Y, and Z competence. So they would know that when they complete a course, they can keep track of the competence report matrix to say, oh, I have a gap, so I need to go and do something there before I actually publish against a particular assignment. But it would work. It would work well with flexible pathways as well, face-to-face, online learning, all of that, but it's end-user driven. Thank you for your question.